This is my first video update coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus on this Friday morning. And what a day yesterday. What a day it was. Over that way you can see in the distance the monastery. Right over there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe one day I'll take you inside if we can go inside. That would be nice. Go in there, but let's take a walk around this way. What a day yesterday, huh? Liz Truss resigns. 44 days. She was 44 days in office at 10 Downing Street. She's gone. And now all the talk is that Boris Johnson, he's going to make a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. He is going to come back as prime minister. Oh boy, how embarrassing would that be to have Boris come back as prime minister? It would change nothing, of course. It's not going to stop the collapse and the slide. But it is going to continue the funding of Ukraine. It's going to continue the escalation with Russia. So, you know, Boris would be acceptable for the UK deep state. Of course, it would also be temporary because the end goal is to get Starmer in. So, even a Boris, a second prime minister term for Boris would be very short-lived, and that would be even more embarrassing. Boris is prime minister. He gets the boot. Truss comes in. She gets the boot after 44 days. The lettuce wins. The lettuce beat out Truss. Boris Johnson comes in. He gets the boot after a couple of months. And then you have Starmer come in. Is that the plan? That's going to be the trajectory of things? And meanwhile, all of these moves, people coming into 10 Downing Street, people coming and going, doesn't solve the problem. Doesn't solve the economic collapse. The only way to stop the bleeding is to stop the sanctions, to roll back the sanctions. That's how you stop things. That's how you stop the bleeding. Doesn't solve everything. I mean, there's some real serious problems that the UK has to deal with, which run beyond sanctions and go far beyond the conflict in Ukraine and stuff like that. But the first step is to just stop the sanctions, stop the escalation, roll things back with regards to the sanctions against Russia, and get some breathing room. Give your administration, whatever administration that would be in 10 Downing Street, give it some space, some breathing room, so it can then work on saving the country. But they're not going to do that. Just the fact that they're talking about Boris Johnson making another run at it just shows you that the political elite, the political class in the UK, they've got only one direction, and that is the Zelensky direction. And you know Boris Johnson, the first thing he would do if he became prime minister, the absolute first thing he would do if he became prime minister again is get on a plane and travel to Kiev. That would be the first thing he does. That's it. He'll become prime minister one day, and the next day he'll be on a flight to visit his bro, you know, because they've got this bromance. I wonder if Kiev would take Boris. I wonder if he would be allowed to travel there, given all of the security concerns. But I'm sure that Zelensky would meet up with Boris, perhaps at an undisclosed location, because we do have this French diplomat. I think that has been confirmed as well. Was it the French ambassador? I forgot the story. exactly how it goes. I think the French ambassador to Ukraine, perhaps. I could be wrong there, but that tweet that he put out, I believe it has been confirmed, where he said that Zelensky is not even in Kiev, something along those lines. But maybe Boris would meet Zelensky at Zelensky's current location, wherever that may be. Maybe it's down the street from 10 Downing Street. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't have to travel that far. Yeah, I'm all for the cat. You know, you want to stop the slide. You want to stop the crisis. At least put a pause in the economic crisis in the UK. Then I think the Tories should give the cat a turn. You know, that meme with the cat that's going to be prime minister. I think absolutely that cat should get a run at it, and I bet you the cat would do a better job. And I'm not joking around. The cat would do a better job. Check out that church. Isn't that a nice church? Look at that, tiny. It's like something you see in a movie. This would be like a good setting for some sort of movie scene or something. Let's walk in. So yeah, I think that cat would be the right choice for prime minister, because, you know, look, at least the cat wouldn't be able to sign off on any more weapons and money to Ukraine, because cats can't write. Right? So, I mean, whatever paperwork they would put in front of the cat wouldn't be able to do anything. So, you know, hey, Mr. Prime Minister Cat, let's send another $5 billion to Ukraine. The cat would be like, I can't sign it, you know? So, I mean, we can't send anything. So, yeah, I'm all for the cat. At least the cat would put a temporary end to the endless spending and weapons that have been going to Zelensky and to Ukraine. And why is the UK? I mean, we're going to look back at this time. Like, historians are going to look back at this, and they're just going to write like volumes and volumes of analysis and books, you know, trying to explain why and how the UK and Germany, these two countries, why they decided to destroy themselves over a conflict for which they have no skin in the game. At least the people, the citizens, they have no connection to this conflict, to this region. Nothing. There's no cultural connection. There's no historical. There's no language, religion. There's no treaty. There's no NATO. There's no alliance, no EU, nothing. And so, you know, in 10, 20, 30 years, when all of this ends, if we make it through this period of time, everyone's going to wonder why. Why did the UK and why did Germany do this to themselves? Yeah, that car got beaten up bad. Wow. Dude. Man. Yeah. Why? Why did you decide to destroy your country, UK, Germany? Why did you do it? For what? Oh boy. So, let's talk about, what should we talk about now? I want to get into Elon Musk. Because, by the way, the pound surged on the news of Liz Truss's resignation. So at least that was some good news. Though temporary, it is some good news. Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, he he started tweeting to Dmitry Medvedev, like a little mini Twitter thread. Twitter conversation took place the other day, yesterday, when Dmitry Medvedev, he tweeted, "Bye-bye, Liz Truss. Congrats to the lettuce." So that was what Dmitry Medvedev tweeted. And Elon Musk tweeted back. He said, "Pretty good troll, to be honest." And then Musk followed with a tweet that said, "By the way, how's it going in Bakhmut?" And then Dmitry Medvedev, he answered, "See you in Moscow on the victory day." So one would ask, given all of Musk's problems with the US government, with the Biden administration, the Pentagon, the intel agencies, Starlink, all of these things, tweeting out Ukraine peace plans, given all of his problems, why would he double, triple, quadruple down by tweeting to Dmitry Medvedev? Why would he do this? You would think that a rational person would distance himself from the Russia narrative, the conflict. You definitely would not start a little mini Twitter conversation with one of the most powerful people in Russia, in the Kremlin, right? That would be the last thing that you would want to do. But Elon Musk went there. And I looked at that tweet, and I also said to myself, I said, why would you do that? Why would you do that, given all of the pressure, all of the heat that you're under now, with regards to your supposed connection to Russia now, because all of the collective West media, they're talking about how Musk now is a Putin shill and a Putin sympathizer and all of these things, and we've got to take Starlink away from Musk. We got to take away Twitter. We got to prevent Musk from buying Twitter, because him buying Twitter would mean Twitter getting into the hands of the Russians. Why would you tweet this to Dmitry Medvedev? Well, the answer just might be what I just said. I read an article on Zero Hedge, which cited sources from Bloomberg, and perhaps the angle here is that Musk does want the government to step in and block the purchase of Twitter. And he's figured out a way for the government to do that, which is to cozy up to Russia, to the peace plan, to the Ukraine peace plan, to all of these things, to complain about the costs of Starlink, so that the US government steps in and says, Twitter deal is off. And that's exactly what's happening. So I'll put a link to this Zero Hedge article. It references Bloomberg as well. And just to give you a summary as to what it says. And they may be onto something. I'm not saying this is what's going on. I'm just kind of throwing it out there as a possibility. Basically the premise goes like this. Elon Musk made a proposal to buy Twitter. 44 billion, something like 44, 45 billion. Then he backed out of the deal. He wanted to back out of the deal. But then the courts stepped in and they said, no, you can't back out of the deal. You've already taken things too far. You have to buy Twitter now at 44 billion. You have to move forward with the purchase. Now, Twitter is valued right now at something like, I think the article said around 10 billion. So Musk, who's good with money, to say the least, you can't get to 200 billion net worth without knowing a thing or two about money and profits and good deals, bad deals. Well, Musk is now on the hook to buy a company for $44 billion, which is valued more along the lines of $10 billion, and he can't get out of it. Well, maybe there's one way to get out of it. Maybe you have the government, the Biden White House, step in and block the purchase of Twitter, citing national security concerns. And that's exactly what the Biden White House is considering. And not only for Twitter, also for Starlink. And for Starlink, I think there's a case to be made that perhaps, maybe, I'm not saying this is the case for Starlink, but perhaps the Russian jamming of Starlink has led Musk to believe that, maybe this internet satellite thing may not have such a bright future. Maybe, just maybe. And so for Musk, without a doubt, the government stepping in, the Biden White House stepping in and blocking the Twitter purchase, that's a win for Musk. And perhaps the Pentagon coming in and saying, you know what, Starlink is important to the U.S. national security, and so we're going to have to take over part of Starlink or something like that. Maybe that also benefits Musk. I don't know. I'm throwing this stuff out there. I'll put a link to this Zero Hedge article. I think it makes an excellent case for how Musk wants the Biden White House to come in and put an end to this Twitter purchase. And Musk, being the very clever billionaire that he is, he may have found a way to do that. Just cozy up to the Russians, to Putin, to a peace plan. Just start putting stuff out there like that, and understanding the hysteria and the freak out from the neoliberal establishment. You'll have them come in and say, you're not buying Twitter. There's no way you're going to buy Twitter. That's a threat to national security. We got to block this deal. Forget the court rulings. The federal government is stepping in. That's a possibility. So that was an interesting article, I thought, from Zero Hedge, and in a way from Bloomberg. So with that being said, let's do one more story, and then we'll do a clown world. And this will be a quick story. I just want to talk about the Iranian kamikaze drones that, everyone is now fixated on, including the U.S. government. So John Kirby, he came out on Thursday, and he told reporters that Iranian troops are directly engaged on the ground in Crimea. They're supporting Russian drone strikes. This is according to U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. Quote, the information we have is that the Iranians have put trainers and tech support in Crimea, but it's the Russians who are doing the piloting. Kirby elaborated, adding that only a relatively small number of Iranian personnel had made the journey to Russia. He did not explain where the information had come from. And so everyone is freaking out about the Iranian drones. The EU has put sanctions on Iran and the companies that manufacture the drones, as well as various generals in Iran. And they're trying to put an end to what is believed. Hasn't been confirmed. Iran denies it. Russia denies it. But the narrative is that Iran is providing these drones, which are indeed a game changer in this conflict with Ukraine. Everyone is flipping out. And so I think to myself this. When NATO and the U.S., when they supply weapons to Ukraine, when they supply drones to Ukraine, that's going to be my clown world, by the way, is going to be focused on drones. When they supply money to Ukraine, NATO, the U.S., Europe, they're not a party to the war. There's nothing wrong with it. We're not a party to the war. We've heard Stoltenberg say that 1,000 times. Kirby has said that a million times. Borrell, Vander Crazy, all of them. Schultz, yeah, we're giving weapons, we're giving tanks, we're giving drones, we're giving ammunition, we're training Ukraine soldiers. We're actually training them here in Germany, in Poland, in the UK. We're sending mercenaries. We're sending our own mercenaries to Ukraine. But we're not a party to this war. NATO's not involved, everybody. We're not involved. We're not a party to this war. None of that is going on. We're not fighting Russia. We're not at war with Russia. But when Iran, allegedly Iran is supplying drones to Russia, allegedly, selling drones, from what I understand, if that is indeed the case, Russia is actually purchasing these drones. They're not being donated. It's not, take these free drones. Well, let's just say that is the case, and Russia is purchasing these drones from Iran. Well, then, Iran is a party to this war. And they have to be sanctioned. You see how that goes? You see how that works? Anyway, let's do a clown world since we're on the subject of drones, and this Jedi has previously made the clown world list, and well, this is his second go at the clown world segment, in the clown world segment, and we're talking about Mark Hamill. You may know him as Luke Skywalker. Well, Mark Hamill, he was giving an interview to Bloomberg Radio, and he made the claim that his efforts as drone ambassador, remember Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, was appointed by Zelensky as Ukraine's drone ambassador. Well, his efforts as drone ambassador, according to Mark Hamill, have netted Ukraine 500 drones to date. And this is all via this website, United 24, which is like this website / slush fund crypto mechanism that Ukraine uses, most likely set up by NATO or the collective West, who knows. But they use this website to take in donations, cash, crypto, drones, people who want to purchase or sponsor the purchase of drones and all of these things. Well, Mark Hamill was made ambassador for this drone effort, and he's saying that his efforts have given Ukraine 500 drones. Very simply, Ukraine needs drones. They define war outcomes. They protect their land, their people. They monitor the border, their eyes in the sky, Hamill told host Joe Matthew, adding that the fundraising platform sent him multiple updates every week on their progress obtaining the unmanned vehicles. So he's getting like a progress report. I imagine he's raising money, and United 24 is sending him a progress report, probably saying, oh, the $1 million or $2 million that you helped us raise helped us purchase 100 drones or whatever. And Mark Hamill is very, very proud of that, because you should absolutely believe the progress reports coming from the Ukraine government. They're not going to lie. They're absolutely accountable for all of the money that they take in, right? Mark Hamill, man. Boy, oh boy, you are not the smartest Jedi, are you? Anyway, that is Mark Hamill. That is Luke Skywalker. He's gone full dark side. But in this article, this interview from Bloomberg, they talk about how Zelensky is a super big Star Wars fan. And they reference, and they say that Zelensky has appeared in various Star Wars themed T-shirts. They're talking about an olive green T-shirt that he wore during one of his Zoom speeches or Zoom conversations with Hamill or with some other actors, and it was like this green T-shirt with, like, I guess a stormtrooper or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, Zelensky is going to be in the next Star Wars film. That's my prediction. After he's done with his book tour, his latest book deal and his book tour, The next thing on Alensky's list is Star Wars. Another Star Wars prequel or sequel or who knows what. But that's the clown world, everybody. I will leave it there. TheDuran.locals.com. Look for us on Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Telegram, and we are now on Rockfin as well. My channel, Alexander's channel, the Duran main channel. You will find it on all those platforms. Take care.